Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Play Banished Part 2. As always, my name is eckohour, and I will be the disembodied voice hosting this Let's Play. In our previous episode, we began the Town of Eckoburg. We are now working on the surviving the winter aspect of our game. We just need food and firewood. As long as we have those two things, we should be okay. Our gatherer's hut is getting close to completion. I also queued up a farm because I want to get farming very quickly because our population will balloon on us very quickly, and before we know it, all of our people will start to starve. I cannot overstate just how quickly your people will start to starve in this game, and it really ends up becoming an oddly self-replicating problem. You would think that as your people starve off and start to die off, that it would stop to be a problem. You would think, oh hey, you know, if there's 20 people and 5 people die, then more food to go around for the 15 people. But it just doesn't seem to work that way. It seems like once you have 5 houses that are starving, you just can't seem to produce food fast enough to feed all of those mouths. Don't really understand it much myself. I'm sure there's some sort of statistic behind it, and I'm not sure if there's some sort of exponentially increasing hunger ratio for individual citizens in this game that just kind of makes it so that whatever food that was necessary to keep your people going at the beginning of the game is not quite as sufficient as when you get to the end. I do know that as your people start to lose health, I think they begin to eat more, so that can be a problem. So if you don't get your herbalist up, which as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and build one. You know, I'm gonna build one over here by my gatherer's hut. Maybe. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna do that. Our gatherer's hut is done as well. So let's find ourselves some herbalists, and we'll build them right over here by the gatherer's hut. That way those things will be done. We don't need as many people building. Oop, my bad. Bring it down to 4. Fishery should be done soon. I do want this to become a priority though, so as soon as that fishery is done, I think we're going to prioritize our farm, because we don't want to waste any time on that farm. Yeah, let's forget where it is. There it is. So we'll prioritize the farm, and that should hopefully get 4 people to come over and work on it. I think they'll finish building this stuff first. Fishery's almost done. What other things being worked on? Oh, I also added a bridge over here. It's being worked on as we speak. I figure that the area beyond this area is going to be a good source of wood and hunting. We'll kind of have this entire coast of this river just be about that. While this coast ends up being about farming, and this area over here becomes kind of my town, and this kind of becomes a secondary area. There's not really much trees over here, so I'm just more... This stuff more went down out of necessity than out of much of a desire to make that my primary source. Unfortunately, as I said before, this is kind of a crummy map. We got lake here, lake here, lake here, if you look at the mini-map. So here, here, and here. And my town is right in between the middle of them. And then for a valleys map, this is a valleys, mind you, there's a lot of mountains and hills. Less so than if you play on a mountains map. It's a lot more claustrophobic on those maps. But for a valley, this is still pretty rough. Got a decent stretch of land down there, but that's a ways away from my starting area. Good ways away. Might have to make this into a avenue. Clear out that farm. Oh no, you know, we'd probably start like right here and make this into an avenue. It'll just stretch down and become part of the town. This might end up becoming my primary town area down here, and then we would just kind of build some farms and stuff around it. This would be a good farm area right here. It'd go up. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm planning ahead. Thankfully, even though we seem to be at 0, nobody's starving just yet, which is good. People have started to work on the town. The fishery is done, or on the farm, I should say. The fishery is done. Anybody else? Where's everybody else doing? Still working on the farm, or on the bridge, I bet. Yeah, they just need to finish working on it. They don't need to put any more resources into it, so that's understandable. But I do want this done, so let's queue up a couple more builders. Make this a priority again, so hopefully I'll put 4 on it. Yeah, and now we will hurry up. Alright, I had to cancel a lot of removal for whatever reason in this game, and I might have to send the developer a message about this. Maybe it's something he already knows. I'll have to check the forums. It seems like for whatever reason, your builders will prioritize collecting resources over actually building certain plots, which doesn't really make sense to me. Like, I had this whole area queued up to be cleared. I had this farm queued up to be built. And for whatever reason, all of my builders were just clearing trees and mining wood and not, mining stone, I should say, and not actually building this farm. Didn't make much sense to me. It could just be me being dumb. There might be a perfectly good reason for it, and I just don't really quite understand. Not too sure, but so yeah, that's something I have just picked up on. Something that you guys might do well to take note of. Seems like if you queue up a pretty big clear order, your people will not build as quickly, which can kind of nip you in the butt early on. So be careful queuing up large clear orders, because that can make for very slow build times. I've got a herbalist over here that I want to see done. Thankfully, we've got some trees over here that should be cleared. That should keep our logs up. Building a forester next. That will start giving us enough logs to not have to clear these plots of land. We got farming late, so I don't know really how much we're going to get out of this farm. Thankfully, our gatherer and fishery should be enough to get us through this next year, and then ideally the farm will be enough after that point. Let's see here. Are they building either of these? Where's our farmers at? Our builders. Let's go watch one. It's going all the way over here. Is this another thing that I forgot to say? Stop clearing it. Cancel removal. There we go. Now let's find our builders. There we go. Now they're building. Alright, so I've got to pause it real quick for a second here. You've seen a couple icons appearing above our buildings here. I'm not sure if I addressed it in the previous episode, but if I did, I'm going to go ahead and address it now. The fork and knife is kind of self-explanatory. It means that the building that currently is, and it only appears above houses and people. So having it appear above a house means that whatever that home is not currently stocked on food. So we've got firewood in our house's inventory, and we've got no food in it. We have 2 fishermen and a child in this house. What this symbol over house means is that since there's no food, over time the people will go to their home to find food. If they don't find food in their home, they will start to starve. They don't steal food from each other. It's a very ordered society. So they will eventually, if their house doesn't get food, they will starve. The problem is the stockpile of food is a first come first served basis. So if you don't have a big enough food store and someone from another house comes and takes the food away, then that house just won't get any. Thankfully, it solved itself and then went right back to being a problem. The other symbol we have over here, or that we did have, was means that you've reached the extent of your limit. So if you see, my fuel limit for firewood is at 200, and we have 210 firewood, which means that now, for the time being, my guy who produces my firewood is going to just kind of be idle until firewood has kind of gone back down below the original threshold, and then he'll start working again. So we're working on herbalist here because I've got some early concerns about the health of my citizens. Again, as they start to become unhealthy, they'll eat a little bit more. It's already autumn, which means my people should be harvesting, so they're already gathering what little food this plot was able to produce. It's actually producing a good bit for only being about 30% along. I don't think it's... I guess we'll see how well it does for us through winter. probably going to want another farm, as a matter of fact. So what I'm going to do is queue another one up right here. Can't exceed 15 by 15. And then our builders can work on that soon enough. Yep, so there, it was, yeah, man. So, if I was dependent on crops, which I will be soon, notice that it only just recently turned autumn, and it's already snowy everywhere. So, on a typical crop, like you can see, I've only cleared about half of this harvest. The rest will start to die off. You'll start to see stuff spawning away there that is not being cleared by my people. So you can lose half of your harvest from an early snow like this, which can be very devastating if you're a very farm-reliant population. So you want to rely on fishing to keep your food stores up long enough to get you to the next season, hope that you don't have 2 bad harvests in a row, then people are going to start having some problems. We do finally have an herbalist, so we're going to go ahead and queue that one up. Hopefully our forester is going to be built here soon. Only cleared 2 of the 6 plots. What we're going to do is build a bit of a road here. Yeah, right there. And we'll build a road right underneath this guy. I'll go right up to our forester, which is going to be good. So most farms tend to produce about 1,000 food a season, so that should be good for us here. We've got 4 gatherers here. They're producing a good bit of food for us, but not enough that we would be able to survive. Let's build another house. Build 1, 2. Might even build a house right here. Can we get, see, right there? Ooh, just barely not be. I don't like to put my houses right over top of each other because, again, as I said in the other game, fires will start and they will cause problems. So, but something that you want to do, what you make sure you do, is putting some houses right here. What I'm going to do is, once this forester is done, I'm going to queue up a couple houses to be built right on this side of the river next to it. In this little nub that I'm not obviously going to be putting a farm in because it's so tiny. What is important to note about this game is it's very important to make sure that you have houses close to whatever jobs that you have. So this is relatively close to my houses, so I don't need to build houses really any closer than what they already are. But this one, the forester, is all the way here from my starting settlement, which means that for the moment, if someone over, like, the only houses that I have for people are going to be in this area, so that means the person will have to travel all the way over here just to start working each day. If you put houses right here, which is outside of the radius of their cutting and putting up trees, so it's not going to cut into that efficiency, but they only have to travel this distance to get to work each day, so it's a little more efficient. I might even also put some stockpiles on this side of the river, so I might just have this stretch of coast be a little more geared towards this side, giving it population and stockpile place, while this big swath right here becomes my farmland. So this is our first season where we get to see what good a full yield of crop will do us. I'm hoping it can get a little bit more than 350 food out of it. We're also starting to get some herbs from our herbalist, which is great. That should start to help our population, or help the health of our population. We had a child just die of starvation, but that's okay. I know it sounds really dark, but no, that's okay. Because that doesn't actually cut into our workforce. It might cut into our future workforce, but in our current workforce, it doesn't really cut into it. Now that we have a couple extra workers, I'm going to queue up another person for fishing, another person for farming. That way we can squeeze a bit more success out of crop yield over here. How do we not have enough firewood? Don't we have a woodcutter? Yeah, we do. Why is he not woodcutting? Hello, woodcutter guy. Do your job. There you go. We're clearing out another farm over here, so I'll get us a bunch more wood. And our forester is getting relatively close to being done. Now we're having people die of starvation. For really stupid reasons, because we've got food coming in, but killed off both of our builders. For whatever reason, our firewood is low. Even though we have plenty of firewood, or plenty of logs, and just doesn't seem to be producing firewood fast enough. We've got a lot of homes starting to starve. There we go, it's a good bit of food just got dropped off. And immediately disappeared. I don't know who grabbed 60 worth of food. Like these people, you don't need 4 berries and 35 fish. Your neighbors are... Look at this guy! Look at this guy! I found our culprit! This guy's hoarding 63 onions, 49 fish, 9 roots, 4 mushrooms, 15 berries. Meanwhile, Rome and Vanny over here got nothing but 21 firewood to nibble on. How about this guy? He's hoarding food too. Share the wealth, people. That's one of the problems with this, is you can't prioritize spreading the food evenly. Some houses will just hoard the food, and because it's a first come, first served thing, and then you kind of have this thing happen where people who already have food will go and grab more food, and the people who are starving will starve. And it makes no sense to me. I really don't understand it, but thankfully we've starting to farm, but people are dying left and right. We've already lost a couple builders. That's okay. These people are going to starve because they've been out too long. There we go. Okay. So hopefully our crisis has been avoided for now. We've got a forester that's done. Our farm is almost done. Tools is starting to become a problem. Okay, so we're gonna have to queue up that before we close out today. But we're getting a good... Yeah, see, we've already got a decent surplus of food, but it's going quickly. Because some people just hoard food, man. I don't understand. Like, yeah, you got 203... You got pretty much our entire crop of cabbage in that house. These people got jack all. Neither of these people. Yeah, they're going through food like it's going out of style, man. Look at it go. So yeah, we're definitely going to need another plot of food, because for whatever reason these people are eating like it's freaking, well, eating like they're Americans right now, just stuffing their face full of food. So, yeah, these people are going to be out of food soon. The hoarders, see, that's karma coming to nip you in the bud there, guy. But thankfully we're sitting on about 800 food now. That should be enough to last us the winter. This farm is done. We can at least get ourselves up to 6 farmers. That would be great. And then as soon as this place is done, we'll set one of our builders to be our blacksmith. We're also going to need foresters badly. So I think we'll set one of these guys to be our blacksmith and the other guy to be a forester. And hope for the best, really. There we go. That's done. Take you people off of the build queue. One of you be a blacksmith, and the other one be not a fisherman. As a matter of fact, we don't need 5. We can deal with 4. I need a couple foresters, though. We need logs. We need it badly. Hopefully we get a laborer out of our child pool here. Where are our children? Do we have anybody who's 9 floating around here? A lot of 0s, 1s, and 7s. We got an 8-year-old. I think people become an adult in this town when they hit age 10. Oddly enough. So we've got to wait until someone hits age 10 to kind of build up our pool of laborers there. But in the meantime, we can reset all this stuff because we don't really need to build stuff at the moment. So we can set all this stuff to be cleared once more. Make this area a bit more efficient for us. The nice thing about a forester is they will, over time, clear the stone and iron, but I'm not patient. I'm not going to wait. We don't really need to build stuff for right now, so we will clear this area. Reserve of food is low. Well, it's warm now. Go farm. Let's go, farmers. Go do your farm thing. There you go. We'll build a swath of dirt over here. Make your food people move a little bit quicker. Yeah, it's almost middle of spring. You guys haven't even started planting your crops yet. Let's go. Take your good old time, I swear. Got children running around on the crops. Man, what are we running here? Just a joke show? There we go. We got some stuff growing in. It's already going to be late spring and we're already just barely having our crops growing. People got a haul butt, man. They're going to waste our time. Alright. So I think the starvation crisis has been avoided. So that was our first crisis that we encountered. We've run out of stored clothes, so that's going to become a problem before... Well, I mean, it's not a serious problem. It just means people will be less efficient during the winter. Fortunately, that doesn't really hurt our farming because come winter, we shouldn't really need to farm anymore. Let's see. We just don't seem to have enough logs yet, though. Add another forester. But I think that's going to have to do it for now because we've killed up a lot of time trying to deal with that starvation crisis. So, really didn't get much done. I had to kind of go back on... Oh, we already got enough of... Man, there's only one person here doing that. Wow, they did good work. We're going to increase the queue to 200 there then. Let them keep doing their job. How about this place? Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, I almost produced 2,000 food, so I don't know who's eating up an appetite there. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching. I realize we didn't get much done, but we avoided a crisis, and ideally, if I had a better setup, we probably wouldn't have had that crisis as quickly as we did. But it's okay, we worked through it, and now we're back to our other crisis, which is we don't seem to be producing logs fast enough. Oh man, it's really easy to just get distracted by this game and not do what you need to do. Okay, I need to pay attention on closing this game out. So I'm going to pause it so that way I don't keep getting distracted. Okay, I want to thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for part 3 where I'll hopefully have this town moved along a little bit. And we'll see a little bit more about the complexities of necessities of your town, and move out of the kind of initial phase and onto the phase which is starting to produce some goods that your towns will need, and maybe even some trade. I might have our dock built so we can start seeing some trade. But for now, I want to thank you guys for watching. My name has been eckohour. Stay tuned for part 3.